Hey there and welcome back. Now, if you're wondering how I'm covering episodes from 1985, since I can't show the full episodes or clips because of copyright, what I can do is this. I watch the episodes, take you through the biggest plot turns, explore what's going on with the characters, and reflect on all the emotional, messy, and sometimes wild storylines that made these episodes unforgettable. Think of it like a time machine with commentary, giving you the core of the story, the context, and a little bit of analysis along the way. So if you're a fan who wants to revisit the classics, or maybe you've never seen these older episodes and just want to know what the heck was going on in Salem back in the day, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Okay, so get this. A bag of cocaine just turns up at the Salem Inn.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And you think, okay, well, that's a bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But the way it all unravels in this one episode of Days of Our Lives, we're talking January 14th, 1985 here. It's like a masterclass in how fast things can just go completely sideways.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there wanting to, get the gist without wading through all the shoulder pads and the big hair.
Oh, yeah, the 85 look.
Exactly. We've gone deep into this classic episode. We're going to pull out the core storylines, figure out what's driving these characters, and maybe see where it's all heading.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? How just a single episode of a show like this that's been running forever can pack in so many different threads, all tangled together.
Totally.
So think of this, for you listening, as just a really efficient way to get a handle on what's happening right now in Salem. The main fights, why people are doing what they're doing, and all the potential drama these things are setting up.
Right. What's the mission?
Our mission, basically, is to pull out the most important pieces of this specific puzzle from this one day.
And it kicks off right away.
Yeah.
This buzz boy finds the cocaine, and it's not just a simple, oh, dear, look at this.
Yeah.
The manager, he's instantly worried, obviously, legal trouble, the inn's reputation.
Sure, makes sense.
But then you've got Melissa.
Yeah.
And she's just eavesdropping, but she seems, I don't know, way too interested.
Yeah, that little detail.
That kind of subtle thing that makes you lean in,
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's her deal?
And that discovery, that moment and her reaction, it really shows how something that seems small can just inject all this unease and suspicion right into the story.
Yeah.
It's a classic soap move, right? Planting that little seed of conflict early on.
Exactly. And the stakes ramp up.
Yeah.
Immediately. A detective shows up, and he's not messing around. This isn't just some minor find for him. He starts talking about, like, new players on the drug scene, a bigger problem spreading through Salem, even back in '85. And he's determined, he wants to catch the pushers.
So it escalates quickly. From a found bag to a major investigation.
It felt like a crime show just sort of intersected with the usual drama.
Well, and what's interesting there is Melissa's reaction again. Why is she so nervous? Why does she want to leave so fast?
Right.
Is it guilt? Is she scared of being connected somehow? These little actions, they just pile up the questions for anyone watching.
And those questions, they get a pretty direct answer later. Barry confronts her.
Ah, Barry. Okay.
And he knows she knew about the coke, that she tried to grab it before the cops came but messed it up.
Oh, wow. So she was involved.
Seems like it. And then he drops this bomb about his big bosses and actually threatens her. So suddenly, this isn't just about some lost drugs. It's serious. It's got real teeth.
That's a huge escalation from, like you said, a found bag to direct threats from potentially organized crime. It really shows how these stories layer in complexity and danger fast. And it hints that these characters, they're often tied into bigger things happening off screen, these unseen power structures.
And then Marie steps in. She sees Melissa acting weird, and she's clearly suspicious. It's just a perfect little example of how one person's dodgy actions create these ripples. Doubt, mistrust, spreading through her friends.
Yeah, Marie's suspicion really highlights the relationships there. These characters, they have history, right? So how they react to each other now is shaped by everything that came before.
Right.
It adds that bit of realism, you could say, even when the drama is totally heightened.
Okay, now for a complete pivot. Seriously, this episode is like whiplash.
Okay.
We jump straight into some, heavy international intrigue. Bro and Shane, they team up, but it is tense.
Bo and Shane. Yeah, that's always a fun dynamic.
They both want Stefano DiMera, right?
Right.
But Bo, he wants revenge.
Yeah.
Straight up revenge for his brother's death.
Personal vendetta.
Totally. While Shane, he's all business. Working for the ISA, gotta follow protocol, It's like oil and water trying to mix.
And those different motivations, pure revenge versus, professional duty, that creates conflict right inside their partnership from the get-go.
Definitely.
It's a dynamic you see a lot, right? People with totally different goals forced to work together.
And what are they even after? Get this. These mysterious prisms.
The prisms? Yeah.
Apparently they're, like, world-changing. Stefano wants them too, of course. And we hear about this guy, Leopold Bronsky.
Bronsky, okay.
He's the one bringing the third prism, supposedly from Siberia. And he knew the guy who made them, Chorvat.
Wow, okay. Siberia, prism creator.
This is getting complex.
Doesn't it feel like we just walked onto the set of a spy thriller?
It really does. It elevates the stakes way beyond Salem. Suddenly, you've got multiple groups fighting over these incredibly powerful things. It creates instant tension, drives the story on a much bigger scale than, the cocaine bust at the end.
And the ISA's plan is kind of wild. They're going to let Stefano get the second prism. Let him.
Why? So they can bait him. They figure he'll lead them right to the third one, the one Bronsky has. But to do that, they need someone undercover, someone to get close to Bronsky.
Okay. So it's a setup. Very calculated, very long game thinking there.
Right.
It shows the ISA isn't just reacting to stuff. They're actively trying to manipulate the situation to get what they want.
But Bo, oh man, Bo is practically vibrating with impatience.
Yeah, I can picture that.
He just wants to go get Stefano
Yeah.
now. But Shane's like, no, the prisms first. That's the priority.
Strategic objective versus immediate personal need.
Yeah. And Shane even admits, he says, look, the ISA knows where Stefano is right now. They could go after him.
Wow, okay.
They won't, because the prisms are more important. It really shows you where everyone's focus lies or where it's supposed to lie.
That difference in priorities, it brings up that classic question, doesn't it? When the personal stakes are sky high, how do you balance what you need now versus maybe a bigger win later? It's a dilemma that, pops up everywhere.
Okay, let's switch tracks again. Kimberly.
Right, Kimberly, what's happening with her?
She seems genuinely happy, excited. She's getting back into photography, talking to Don Craig about a job taking pictures.
Oh, that's nice. A fresh start.
It really feels like it. Like a real moment of hope for her. A chance to kind of redefine herself. It's such a contrast to all the dark, twisty stuff happening elsewhere.
Yeah, a bit of light.
But then Shane shows up.
Oh, Shane again.
And at first, it seems okay. He seems like he's trying to smooth things over about some past stuff, surveillance, her old job. He even brings her this little gift, a model fire station, something tied to their history.
Okay, so maybe trying to reconnect, make amends.
That's what it looks like. And Kimberly seems, well, maybe a little cautious, but open. She talks about wanting this new life. She's vulnerable.
That gift, the fire station, that feels significant. Like he's acknowledging their past together.
Exactly.
And her being willing to open up like that. It just makes what happens next hit harder, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. Because then comes the twist. Shane reveals the real reason he's there.
Uh-oh.
The ISA wants her. They want her to use her past, the connections from her old life.
The life she's trying to leave behind.
Exactly. They want her to use those connections to get close to Bronsky. To be an agent, basically. Get information on that third prism.
Oh, no. That's, wow. Devastating for her.
Totally.
It's like a complete betrayal of that moment they just had, that trust she was maybe starting to feel again. And it just tramples all over her hope for a fresh start.
Her reaction is just, pow.
Wow.
She completely rejects him, tells him off. She feels totally used, manipulated.
And you can't blame her?
Not at all. It's such a stark reminder of how sometimes these big, impersonal agendas like the ISA's could just steamroller right over individual people's lives and hopes.
Yeah, it definitely brings up some ethical questions, doesn't it, about using people like that, especially using their pasts, their vulnerabilities when they're trying to change.
For sure. Okay, one more major thread here. The custody battle over little Zachary.
Right, Diane and Megan.
We see Diane talking with Dan Craig. She's determined, She wants her son back from Megan. She's fighting for him.
So her focus is purely on getting Zachary back, proving she's fit to be his mom.
Seems like it. But then, Bo steps in with this incredibly manipulative plan.
Bo again. What's he up to now?
He wants Diane to basically fake a fight with him. Then she'll return Zachary to Megan early, before she's supposed to.
Why would she do that?
The idea is to make Megan think Bo is actually on her side, supporting her against Diane. It's all some complicated game he's playing. Seems like it's tied into the ISA stuff somehow.
Wow. Using his own kid, using Diane's situation, that's pretty cool.
It really is. It shows he's willing to just exploit these really personal relationships, these emotional weak spots, to get what he wants for his mission. Adds another layer of a moral grayness to everything.
Yeah, gray is a good word for it.
And he even admits it. He tells Diane, look, Megan's obsessed with me, and I'm going to use that for the ISA.
He actually says that.
Yep. Although, maybe he seems a little uneasy about it. Just a flicker. Like, maybe part of him knows it's messed up.
That little bit of conflict within him, that's important, I think.
How so?
It just reminds you that even when people are chasing these big goals, they often still wrestle with the right and wrong of how they're doing it, or at least sometimes they do.
Yeah, that's true. So, wrapping it all up, we've got drugs turning up, this huge international spy plot with Prisms, Kimberly's trust being shattered, and this really messy custody battle being manipulated. All packed into one day in Salem.
It's an incredibly dense web, isn't it? Deception, ambition, people trying to change their lives, people clinging to the past.
The real surprise, I think, is just the sheer amount of plot happening and how high the stakes get, all inside what's technically a daytime soap.
Absolutely. And casually dropping in things like world-changing prisms, it just shows how that genre can blend the totally mundane with the absolutely extraordinary, sometimes in the same scene.
So for you, listening, the key takeaway here is maybe recognizing how fast things get complicated and how understanding why people do things, revenge, duty, wanting a better life, needing power, is so crucial to figuring out what's going on, even in this fictional world, right?
Exactly. It's all about those competing motivations. This deep dive into just one episode really makes you think, doesn't it? In any situation, really, where everyone has their own agenda, how do you figure out who you can actually trust?
Yeah.
And what are the real costs, the compromises people make to get what they want? What does that do to them and to everyone else?
It really makes you ponder how those individual drives for revenge or love or just a fresh start constantly smash up against these bigger, more complicated systems, whether it's the ISA in Salem or, things in the real world.
Definitely gives you something to chew on.
And that's it for this deep dive into Days of Our Lives episode from January 14th, 1985. If you enjoyed this breakdown, if it helped you relive the drama or made sense of the chaos, let me know. I'd love to keep going with more episodes from 1985, but only if it's something you want to hear. So drop a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, thanks for listening, and as always, watch out for secret prisms, soap-level betrayals, and the next twist in Salem.